welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time. I'm your host, Buck Reising. If you're new, and I'm proud as always to be presented to you by our friends at Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford is where you go. It's where you should go for your next vehicle purchase, because a lot of things are difficult to do right now except buying a vehicle at Two Rivers Ford. That's always a breeze. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. GaryAshton.com is where you go for your dream address without the stress. The Ashton team has you covered to get you the intel edge you need to succeed. So let's talk about where Tennessee will finish, in the SEC East specifically. Second, maybe third, says Steven 1986. Luman says in the basement. He thinks they are going to come in dead last. Lewis, I believe, is a Vanderbilt fan, so that would explain that assessment. Stephen Sawyers says you already know, I think, number 2, which is fair. And listen, I'm not here to downplay confidence. I've been trying to gas my radio. The executive producer for the radio show, Lucas, is a Tennessee alumni, and I am gassing him up about his football team more than he is. I'm excited about Tennessee. I think they've got legit potential, and I think the East is basically there for the taking outside of Georgia, right? I mean, who's clearly going to win it, but still, to make progress, to finish second would be a huge improvement. Remember also that in 2021, Tennessee did finish third in the SEC East, and did so well with 7 wins. Even though the Purdue loss in the Music City Bowl, I think, was pretty unflattering for them. Jeff Rubel says third at best. He thinks they topped out last year, and that's about as well as they'll do. And again, I think Kentucky's a legitimate threat. But, there's something about what Josh Heupel brings to the table that gives you at least optimism that they'll be competitive in the hunt for basically second place. I know there's no trophies for second place, right? But anytime you deal with Tennessee, it feels like you have to deal in baby steps and building blocks. And for Tennessee to be able to slowly advance their grasp on their side of the conference, I think, is no small feat. Now, Jeff says something that is absolutely so. If Tennessee wants to get second, that defense has to improve a lot, and that's secondary. By the way, Jeff is 1,000% accurate. That secondary does not inspire optimism, right? They've got depth issues all over the place, just as they did last year. And, there's reason to feel good about it. Like I said, the 2023 class is far from over. They'll probably see some defections. Most teams like that do. But to have the top overall player in the state of Missouri, a 5-star defensive end in Chandavian Bradley, to have the number 1 player in the state of Tennessee, and him also be, Caleb Herring, a player on the edge, you feel pretty good about the things that they are going to project as, but that's not here yet, right? They have to play this season with the personnel that they have. They certainly haven't done what you would like, or as much as you would like for them to do in the transfer portal, but the options there, based on what's still available, it doesn't look like it would be an obvious upgrade over what they had. But, to add bodies is still critical in the middle of all this. Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator, who came over from Penn State, is a bit of an unknown. I think he overachieved with a below average talented unit last year. You had a couple players who you felt pretty good about. Matthew Butler and Alontae Taylor were both draft picks this year, so it's not like they had outright bad personnel. There's some players on that team. Theo Jackson as well, right, for the Tennessee Titans. But looking at this, depth is something that they did not have last year. Depth is something that is still a question to me, and their ability to affect the quarterback basically is still up in the air right now. Looking at what Tennessee is projected to do, I think that the second in the East is a reasonable expectation.